Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football, from the latest signings to this year's breakout star and all of the news in between. As always, I am Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And this is our 51st episode.
Yes, we forgot to mention down the last episode, because we were so excited about talking about the Hall of Fame weekend.
We had a little bit of our Hall of Fame episode.
We reached a milestone. It was our golden anniversary.
Yeah, I got Jeremiah a nice necklace, and he got me a watch.
Yes, it was. I'm wearing it right now as we speak. It is shiny.
Yeah. No, it was our 50th show together as the football hosts.
Dang, man, 50 shows. Remember the first episode that we did? Man, that was flat out horrible.
Do you remember the first episode? not the very first?
The one that never aired.
The one that the one before that we all listened to in our boss's office?
Yeah, that was the one that never aired.
Yeah.
The one that and then our boss was like, well.
This is okay. And then he spoke to me specifically. We got better.
But I think I got better. I'm not...
Yeah,
where I want to be, but
you all right.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
No, we work well together. We play off one another's quirkiness.
But you know what, man? We were a good team from the start.
Yep.
From the start, we kind of
we're kind of like the '80s Niners. We had a couple bad episodes, but we've been solid since then.
Yeah, we're okay. Like the couple bad episodes were the Niners in 79 and 80 until 1981 we hit our stride.
Exactly. It's like the Steelers 69, 70, 71, but 72.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So we're kind of like in the mid-80s right now.
Yeah, I can dig on that. Yeah. What are we going to do when we get to like 92? In the break between 92 and 95?
I don't know. I'm not thinking that far ahead right now. I'm just worried about this episode, man. But hey.
Well, the 90s are approaching.
Nice comparison, man. I like that.
Thanks.
All right.
I thought you'd like it. Okay, so getting into today's show, we have news of a trio of Cardinals getting contract extensions. That'd be Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, and we'll start with Tyrann Mathieu here in a second. We're also going to talk about fellow NFC North. I'm sorry, NFC West.
North.
I don't even. That's the Steelers division. I don't even know I said that. NFC West defensive player following Tyrann Mathieu there. NaVarro Bowman, linebacker for the Niners, got an extension as well. And then we're going to end the episode talking about AFC North. Thank you. Quarterback, now named starter for the Browns, Robert Griffin III. But we're going to start in the NFC West, and we're going to talk about Tyrann Mathieu. And Tyrann Mathieu did indeed get a new contract, as a matter of fact, tying him to the Cardinals for the foreseeable future. What do you think of this contract?
Oh,
Jeremiah?
I love the contract because Tyrann Mathieu, he can play three positions in the secondary. And that is very valuable for, the Cardinals.
Play the safety, play the nickel back. He can play that rover kind of safety linebacker
That's valuable.
role. It's very valuable.
Very, very valuable.
And they have two players that can kind of do that, too,
Exactly.
except for Deion Buchanan can play a safety linebacker mix. He's not fast enough
There's
to
not many players that, the Cardinals had two of them, like you said. There's not many players that can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for Mathieu because, what he has gone through. His junior season at LSU, he was dismissed from the team for failing the drug test for marijuana. Numerous times. And just play like a defensive player of the year until he got hurt last year. But man, I love this contract from both sides because, Tyrann Mathieu's still young. He's still very young, and when he is on that field, very explosive. Probably the best player on the field at some points of the game. Game changer. He's just a valuable piece to this Arizona Cardinals defense that could make a Super Bowl run this year they could do it.
Mm-hmm.
They could do it, and they were like they were a really good Carolina Panthers team away from.
I like that.
They were
one good Carolina Panthers
team.
away.
If they didn't play the Panthers in that game, then they probably.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I love this deal. You know, it is a 5-year, $62.5 million extension that includes $40 million guaranteed, and that makes Tyrann Mathieu, a.k.a. the Honey Badger, the highest paid safety in the league.
Didn't he say he didn't like that name that much way back when?
Yeah, I think it's because, you know, he had that name during a time when he was, you know, getting all this trouble and all this character issues. So I can understand why he doesn't like that, but people still call him that because that's what they know him as. You know?
That's true. I mean, that became quite the kind of the pop culture thing back when that started, huh?
Yeah, back when he was at
don't care.
Louisiana State University. Yeah, and remember when he was at
nobody calls it Louisiana State University.
Well, I'm just saying it for the podcast here.
LSU.
I know it's LSU.
You're better off saying LSU.
Fine, Alex. Critique me all you want.
Okay.
Fine, LSU. All right, sorry.
That's what I'm talking about. It's my boy.
But yeah, even with Tyrann Mathieu's health as a risk, you know, I like the move. I know because his health is more of a risk now than, you know, his character issues. That's right now. But Tyrann Mathieu's been absolutely among the best defensive backs in football since he entered the league. And some people thought Tyrann Mathieu shouldn't even enter the draft when he did. And, well, he's proving a lot of people wrong right now. Being the highest paid safety in the league, could be, if he plays well like he did last year, could be a defensive player of the year. He could be in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he could easily be defensive player of the year in football.
He was on that track until he tore ACL.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I think he could be defensive player of the year easily. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
But you know, the Cardinals took a really high risk with Tyrann Mathieu when they drafted him at LSU.
Oh, easily
the highest risk.
Doesn't mean I wanted the Steelers to draft him in a heartbeat.
I wanted the 49ers to draft him too.
I think every team had one or multiple fans at least wanting them to draft him. He just gives you. You're right. He gives your defense something that you can't get from everywhere else. You know.
Yeah, and you know, back to what I was saying about the Cardinals taking a huge risk on him. Mm-hmm. You know, when he was coming, you know, he got dismissed from his junior year. Talking about Tyrann Mathieu being dismissed from LSU. I almost said Louisiana State again.
Thank you.
You know, being dismissed as junior.
I would have got all over you.
But he's put all that behind him, and he just played like a man possessed on defense. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he plays great ball.
Yeah.
And he's fun to watch too. I mean, he straight up intercepted the Steelers and took it back like 10, 15 yards. And I wasn't even mad about it. Like, it was just such a great play to watch. He was guarding Martavis Bryant or Brown. I can't remember. It was the Cardinals game at home for Pittsburgh. Vic got hurt. He hurt his hamstring earlier in that game. And Landry came into play. And I love that game. I remember that game because Landry's first throw was a touchdown pass to Bryant. But a little bit later, I think it was against Vic. Excuse me, he was guarding, I want to say it's Brown, and he followed him footwork for footwork to the sideline, and then Brown cut it on him and kind of got away from him, and he quickly, like, he didn't open his hips and run to it, he spun around and undercut it and intercepted it on the sideline. It was beautiful. Like, it was like, I was like, I can't even be mad about that. It was gorgeous.
Speaking of
and you can't always follow Brown like that. He's one of the best crisp route runners in the league.
I think, honestly, Brown's probably the best receiver in the league.
Oh, I agree with you. You know I agree with you. It's not the first time we talked about that.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to Tyrann Mathieu playing from last year, remember that game against the San Francisco 49ers?
Which one?
Well, you know, the one when...
he smoked him both times he played.
Well, the one that was
the one in Arizona.
The one in Arizona.
The 3-pick-6 game?
I think that was kind of like Tyrann Mathieu's coming out party in the sense, you know, he was just...
In a sense.
He played huge in that game.
He played phenomenally in that game.
He played phenomenal.
He had 2 picks. One of them was an interception for a touchdown. I told you before the show started.
Yeah.
I was telling my brother, we were talking about if there's any changes that we wanted to make to our fantasy football league this year in terms of scoring. And he's a Niner fan also, as you are. And we were saying, I was like, you know what you should do, man? Every time a quarterback throws a pick six, give him 3 points, because then everybody's going to be drafting Kaepernick in the first round. He's like, funny. I was giving him a hard time. But, he's Tyrann Mathieu is something else.
Well, Colin Kaepernick might not even win the job.
Exactly.
But that's a different topic for a different show.
Anyways. I say, if you want to talk about some fantasy football players, some great ones from last year, let's talk about Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald.
They both got 1-year contract extensions, which in sense, it goes along with the title of this episode. The Arizona Cardinals look to be all in quotation marks. They're extending, in a sense, their players, but they're also extending their Super Bowl window. You have veterans.
It's closing.
It's closing. But with the extension of these players, you're giving yourself at least one more year on top of the years you have. Fitzgerald and Palmer each got 1 year tying the quarterback to the team through 2018 and Larry through 2017. Palmer's deal is just over $24 million, and he's going to get a $6.75 million signing bonus and a $2 million roster bonus. And, again, he'll be with the team until 2018. I don't have the numbers on
Fitzgerald.
There it is. I'm sorry, that's Tyrann. Yeah, I don't have the numbers on.
His contract terms didn't get
get disclosed.
Yeah,
okay.
they were undisclosed.
But in that sense, it's extending their window, keeping this nucleus together. Unfortunately, it being an older nucleus in terms of the offense. The defense is still very young, and there's reasons we just discussed with Tyrann why they're so good. But they're extending this. We saw the drop off like after Warner left. And that window closed at that time.
They couldn't find a quarterback.
Exactly. That window at that time closed.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that they're preparing for that fact. And Palmer's not necessarily, ready to retire like Warner needed to at that time. He was done with the injuries. He got hurt in that Saints game.
He did.
Not necessarily he's ready to retire. He can play for a few more years still. So they're extending him for that purpose. And it's a very smart move on their end, I would say.
No, I like the move too. Because like you said, the Super Bowl window was closing. It's closing. Like they can potentially make a Super Bowl run this year, and next year, and maybe the year after that. But after 2018, I don't know what to say about this team because
we won't know what position they're in.
We won't even know what position they're in this year.
As horrible as to say, I mean, at any point in any time, quarterbacks and players can get hurt at any point. So
exactly,
they have this last hurrah so far of this window to extend it that much further. Get everybody healthy. It's like the Steelers or like the Niners. When the Niners were making their playoff run, that window was perfectly open. The Steelers' window's open right now, but it's like, can these players finally play at the same time? With the suspensions and the injuries. Or it's like, the Rams, their window isn't there yet, but they're building this young team. It could be there soon. The Seahawks are squarely in the middle of theirs. The Broncos might have just closed. It depends on how the quarterback was. So it's, it's like every team. The Browns, they haven't even found the house yet,
Oh.
So, you know what I mean?
They don't even have the keys, bro.
Yeah, the house isn't even built yet, let alone the window.
They don't have the keys like DJ Khaled has the keys.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm saying
I didn't have DJ Khaled.
I'm saying it's okay. Whatever window they're looking for, they haven't found it yet. But by all means, they might find it, and every team has a window. And, right now the Cardinals are in the midst of theirs. And it's nice to see that they're making moves and going all in to go for that, what everybody, you start the season going for. Some guys think, and it definitely differs per team, if the Browns win 500, if they go 500 this year.
Like 8-8.
That's a successful year for them.
Year.
But any team that's not in that position thinks that it's not necessarily Super Bowl or bust, but to an extent, if you don't win the Super Bowl, some players would say that's a failure of a season, So it really depends on how you look at it. I don't personally agree with that. But it depends on the team. If the Cardinals don't win the Super Bowl, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Steelers, the certain teams that are in it, they could consider that a failure. So it depends, but the Cardinals, they're really pushing for the Super Bowl. And it's so weird to think, you're just like, oh, they're not going to win it because they never won one. And it's weird to think of them winning one. But they have all the tools to do so.
They have the right pieces together.
Exactly, and extending the window gives them time to get everybody healthy and have these key players like Carson and Larry.
Yeah, and then, both of these guys are up there in age. Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah.
But
which one's older?
Carson Palmer's 36.
Larry's 35?
He's 32.
Oh, really? He's only 32?
32, 33, around that age. But both of these guys, they're getting up there in age, and they play so well together. Play so well.
Yeah.
They play so. You saw
what he did last year.
Okay, you saw how Larry Fitzgerald played with no quarterback. Some people say that he was done.
Hey. He had John Skelton and Ryan Lindley. Okay.
And Kevin Cobb at one point.
Kevin Cobb. Okay.
Remember when
Don't get me started on Kevin Cobb.
Remember when they made the move to get Kevin Cobb? He was supposed to be the guy.
They got him from the Eagles.
Remember, he was supposed to be the guy. But
Man, he could have been the guy.
He could have been, but whatever. He did play good at some times, though. But anyways, getting back to Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah. Before Palmer got there, some people I always just heard the food truck go off. Before Larry Fitzgerald, played with Carson Palmer, some people thought Fitzgerald's career was on the decline, that, he was done, and I admit I was one of those people and be like, well, Larry Fitzgerald just doesn't have it anymore. He just doesn't make as much plays as he did.
It's the same thing like before Warner went to the Cardinals.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, he's done. I'm like, who's he got to throw to over there? And they just drafted a young Manning. Like, what do you expect?
But, yeah, so pretty much Carson Palmer, benefited from Larry Fitzgerald, and Larry Fitzgerald benefited from Carson Palmer. Because you remember, before Carson Palmer went to the Cardinals, some people thought his career was done too. Remember, he had those couple years with the Raiders. Some people thought, oh, well, he's going to take us to the playoffs. Those are some Raider fans said that I know. I don't know why. And then he got hurt a little bit in Cincinnati, and then some people, a little bit, and then they had that terrible year in his last season,
and then he was like forced to retire.
And then, of course, when they got Andy Dalton, they didn't need Carson Palmer anymore. So, yeah, this is so Carson Palmer coming into Arizona, it really benefited these two guys. Palmer threw for 4,671 yards last year, 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Great year. Probably the best year he's ever had. 104.6 quarterback rating. Fitzgerald caught 109 passes, 1,215 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So both of these guys had great years. And the fact that, the Super Bowl window was closing, the Cardinals made a good move by extending these guys for one more year. And we never know. They can make a Super Bowl run this year or next year. Yeah. But we don't know.
I agree with you. Okay, well, we're going to take our first break, and we're going to get back, talk about fellow, as I said before, NFC West defensive player NaVarro Bowman signing a contract extension with the Niners. So we'll be right back here. You guys don't go anywhere at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, and we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And our next bit of news, I'll throw it to Mr. Niner himself, Jeremiah.
Oh, Mr. Niner. Okay, I like that. But
okay.
The San Francisco 49ers have locked up one of their top players long term. NaVarro Bowman.
One of their best players.
One of the best players probably in the league.
Best in his position for sure.
Exactly. Signed a 4-year contract extension with the Niners. The deal was worth $11 million per year with $20 million guaranteed, keeping him under contract through 2022, and is the second highest paid inside linebacker in the league behind Carolina Panthers' Luke Kuechly.
No offense, he's the best at his position, what he does. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think Luke Kuechly is the best.
That's what I'm saying, Luke Kuechly, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, not Bowman.
I thought you were saying Bowman. Yeah.
No. Luke Kuechly is the best.
I'm not going to sit here and say Bowman is the best. I'm sorry. I'm just not that biased. But Bowman is good, though. He's done so well for that defense since Patrick Willis has retired.
Mm-hmm.
And he is, he hasn't lost a step after that, ACL injury.
That brutal
injury like 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game. which was the last time the Niners made the playoffs, but I'm not going to get into that. But, yeah, man, NaVarro Bowman, extending, having his contract extended with the Niners 2022. Great move for the Niners, but it's also surprising in a way.
It is, yeah.
Because, they don't really have a lot of core pieces around them, and this team is not really expected to win. So does this mean that the Niners are going to start bringing in some pieces to maybe help them win in the future? Because I know they like building through the draft, but the fact that, they extended him right now kind of soon really kind of surprises me. Bowman had like 3 years left on his original deal, so they could have just write his current contract. But they probably felt that, Bowman was a franchise player, and they really wanted to keep him there long term. So what did you think of the contract?
Well, I mean, they're definitely keeping him long term. It's 4 years worth $44 million, $20 million guaranteed. He's got 3 years left on his deal, so that ties him to the team through 2022.
Yes,
quite a while. This is his third contract as a member of the Niners. Also, excuse me. All right, but. I mean, he's worth it in that sense. He is the best player on their defense. I'm surprised to see them give it to him now with 3 years left.
That's why I said that it's surprising with 3 years left. I mean, they could have easily.
They could have waited.
They could have waited. They didn't have to put so much money up front for him right now.
And I don't know if that's clearing up cap space, because that's what extensions typically do, is move money around to open it up in the present time. Excuse me. Man,
you're tired, man.
No, you're tired.
But I'm not yawning on the show.
Well, it's because I made a move that made me stretch, and I felt it. And I was like,
"You made a move, huh?"
Yawn. So, I'm just surprised they did it this early. He's got 3 years left on his deal. I don't understand what the hurry is, but I'm not sitting there in the meeting rooms either. So,
I don't know what
the reason for it.
Deal is either with NaVarro Bowman being extended. Like, I like it from as a fan perspective. I like it because you got the Niners keeping one of their best players, probably the best player on the team long term. And, he's, like I said earlier, he's the heartbeat of the 49ers. And, he was one of the only players to stay after, after that brutal offseason the 49ers had a couple years ago. All these players retirement. But, I like it, but then I don't, because they honestly could have used that money somewhere else to bring in a player to.
Well, again, that's what extensions do.
Yeah,
they do move money around, so they.
But this team's not the 49ers are not expected to win right away.
They're not favored in one game this year, and as of right now, they're projected to have 3 wins.
They can honestly go 0-16. I wouldn't be surprised.
They're projected for 3. I don't want to say 0-16 because it's hard to not win one.
It is kind of hard.
You know what I mean? But I mean, then again, you look at the Niners.
Well, they're not as bad as that Lions team that went 0-16.
Yeah, you look at the Lions, and you had Dan Orlovsky running the back of the end zone.
That team was terrible.
That team was garbage.
Even though they had Megatron, that team was terrible.
Megatron, but who's throwing the ball to him?
No one.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm just surprised by the timing. Other than that, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because as long as our first segment was, our second segment wasn't very long at all.
Yeah.
But we got to take our second break because we went so long, and we'll come back with RG3 news now that he is a starter in the NFL again. Crazy to say. So you guys will be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts. What is it, Jeremiah?
Football Podcast.
Football Podcast.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and for our next segment, I'm going to throw it to Mr. AFC North, Alex here. Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, tell the good people out there some news out there in the AFC North.
Well, I don't know if we've talked about it or mentioned it that the Cleveland Browns did say they would name their starting quarterback before the preseason began. Preseason begins in 3 days on Thursday. I don't know when their first game is, but
it's against the Green Bay Packers.
Should have been yesterday.
Yeah,
should
have been yesterday.
But I mean, I don't know when their first game is what I'm saying.
It's on Friday.
Okay, so Friday is when they kick it off. They had all week to do so, but they didn't wait. And they named Robert Griffin III the first-string quarterback. For the first time in more than a year, he is named the first-string quarterback. The former offensive rookie of the year, number 2 overall pick, has been named for the Browns under Hugh Jackson. Not much of a surprise.
Yeah, because Hugh Jackson said he wanted to make the announcement before the preseason game, and he made it 3 days before. So I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised that RG3 is the starter. We kind of knew going into the offseason that RG3 was going to be the starter coming in. But the question is, though, how long will he be the starter for the Browns this season?
It depends how well he plays.
Is he going to finish the year as a starter? Is he going to get hurt again? Like, we don't know. So
I mean, and the funny thing, too, is he has Pep Hamilton as his offensive coordinator. Do you know who Pep Hamilton most recently worked with?
The Indianapolis Colts.
And what quarterback played there?
Andrew Luck.
And what quarterback got drafted after Andrew Luck?
What quarterback got? Oh, RG3, yeah.
Yeah, he's working with the first.
I can't believe I stumbled on that.
I mean, how many offensive coordinators do you think have done that? Worked with
not a lot.
Back-to-back,
one and two, yeah.
You know, as
remember, these two are getting Andrew Luck and RG3. They're still getting compared.
They will be compared for the rest of their careers. Yeah. That's just how 1 and 2s go.
Yeah.
You know, 1 and 2's even offensive linemen. The year it was Jokel and Fisher.
Yeah.
They're going to get compared too. Yeah. And I mean, not as notably because they're tackles, but yeah, they're always going to be compared. But I'm interested to see. Obviously, going to have this very notable. I'm going to keep an eye on how Robert Griffin III does throughout the preseason and end the season. But obviously, there's 2 games I will be watching quite closely, and that's the 2 times they play the Steelers this year. So I'm definitely interested to see how he does.
And after 4 games of the regular season, Robert Griffin III will, if he's still a quarterback at that time, will have Josh Gordon, as in the lineup. So, but will he be the starting quarterback at the time? I don't know. We can't think that far ahead.
I think he might do okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say, RG3 is gonna do horrible. No, I'm gonna give him a fair chance to have a successful season this year, because it can happen. You know, this guy still has a high upside. He's still young, can still be a long-term starter, especially for a franchise that hasn't won many games, anything. Especially in the city that barely just won its first championship this summer
in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So this city, this team, they have not won anything, in a while. And before that. But yeah, I think RG3 has a chance to resurrect his career and become the Browns starter long term. But, it's just a wait and see game from now on, to see how he will perform. But I am looking forward to watching Cody Kessler.
I'm really looking forward to watching
the former USC quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to him playing this Friday against the Packers.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Kessler play. I like Kessler a lot.
Yeah, I do. I'm a huge Pac-12 guy, so
we both are.
Yeah,
you know it.
I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. You know how it is. You know what it is.
What is it? Yo,
new GSMC podcast, football style.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
All right, new podcast. Who it is? I'm kidding.
This is our 51st episode. This is not new.
This is not new at all. No.
Well, hey, that's all the news we have for you today.
Yeah, it was so good, man. Good.
I like this show. It's a good show.
Yeah, we got 2 new episodes for you guys this week.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Not to mention the ones that are yesterday and today.
That's what I said. 2 new episods this week.
I'm saying besides the ones that we just did.
Yeah. Well, I think they know that. If the listeners are listening to.
Whoa, hey, shh.
What?
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Fine. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm calm down.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm calm down. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just excited that football's coming officially now.
Thursday.
Yes. Hopefully games don't get canceled again.
Don't joke about that.
Oh, God dang it.
Don't joke about that.
God dang it. Why did I have to say that? Stupid.
You jinxed it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Stupid. Oh, come on. Oh, anyways, thank you for tuning to Go State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can catch us on iTunes each and every week. We have 4 episodes, Monday through Thursday. You can also follow us on Twitter at GSMC_football. And on Instagram with the same handle, that is at GSMC_football. You can like us on Facebook at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can also listen to our show at gsmcpodcast.com. as you can listen to this show, our other shows. You know, I do the baseball show. Alex does a sports and soccer show.
Yeah,
I almost forgot what show you did.
Yeah, man. Let me kick it.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! Come on! I'm kidding.
Oh God.
I'm saying, man. And wow, I sidetracked myself. But anyway,
okay.
You can also listen to our show on Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I think I said YouTube twice.
It's okay. Remind them twice.
You can catch us on iTunes, guys. Remember,
there twice.
Yes, you can leave some reviews, give us some ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you guys think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can even send.
Who's cuter, me or Jeremiah?
They don't know what we look like.
Judge it by
unless
voice.
They follow both of us on Twitter.
Nope.
And of course,
I don't let anybody follow me on Twitter.
Really? Are you like Kanye? You only follow one person?
I let you follow me on Twitter.
You follow me too.
I let you follow me though.
You let
asked.
me. Well, I asked if you had a Twitter, and you're like, yeah, okay. And I was like, can you follow? And I was like, well, are you gonna follow me? He's like, yeah. There you go.
And I took an extra 3 days before doing it.
Yeah, you did. You took a long time. I'm still mad at you about that, by the way. I'm like, really, dude? I do this show with you like 4 times a week.
Just block you.
Alex is going to probably block me from Twitter after this show.
I'm going to do it right now.
I still got your number, bro. I'm kidding.
All right, well, let's get out of here, man.
All right, let's get out of here. I know we got to get out of here. We got things to do.
Yeah, this isn't our only occupation, unfortunately.
Yeah, we got. I know. I wish it was. I wish I was here 9 to 5 every day.
We'll get there.
We'll get there one day.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for listening. I am Alex,
and I'm Jeremiah,
and we will see you guys on our next episodes. You stay classy out there.
Yeah, you stay classy, America.
Planet Earth.